I guess this is the whole thing right now. Forgive me. I'm trying to do a whole bunch of things. I was having technical difficulties. Hopefully, folks can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me. I was trying to stream on StreamYards, but yeah, I should probably shouldn't say that. Okay. Woo. I got the technical difficulties going on. Forgive me. All right. So here we are. Technical difficulties abounding. I'm here streaming on StreamYards, or not, I'm here streaming on YouTube. Forgive me. I just felt like going live right now just to see what's going on. Forgive the intro. You can skip over that. I don't even know if I'm even going to do a replay with this. I just wanted to see how folks was doing. I wanted to see what was going on. It's been a little while since I live streamed. I've been doing short videos. I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff. I've been seeing other people here and there on YouTube, and people have birthdays. And shout out to a few people actually that looked out for me. Valerie Reese, I got the socks. Tara's Inspirations. Also, I got the gift card that you sent me. So shout out to folks for that. There's so much to talk about. There's so much that I could say. There's so many things, so many places I could go. Somebody asked me to talk about Little Nas X and the whole Satan shoes and the devil and all that stuff like that. Anybody that's into Little Nas X, he had the shoes with the pint of blood, or the little bit of cc's of blood and the pentagram on it. My thoughts on that is, he's trolling. He's out there clout chasing, and people are going to clout chase. You got to be careful what you go after. And sometimes people mess with things they don't really understand. So that's that whole big beginning or big thing right there. I'm really disappointed because I actually wanted to stream on StreamYards. I actually wanted to get on here and talk with some folks, but I'm having some technical difficulties with that. So here we are on YouTube, which is nothing wrong with streaming on YouTube. But a lot of times when you try to stream or you try to talk to people, it's like my aunt says, sometimes people think, you're just talking to the screen and talking to yourself. I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you out there, whoever you are, whoever you may be, and I appreciate you. But sometimes it feels so monotone. Sometimes you want to have a conversation with other people. What's going on, Valerie Reese? I appreciate you. I got the socks. I got the socks. You know, um, I didn't show them on camera, and I was going to do a dedicated video, but then I was like, okay, how long is the video going to be? Melanie, I appreciate you. Happy Divine Mercy Sunday to you. So like I said, here I am. I'm just talking about different things. If there's anything on your mind, folks, that you want me to bring up, just put it in the chat. I can expound upon it. If you want my thoughts on anything, if you got an opinion you want to share, why not? And like I said, I really wanted to invite somebody up. I really wanted to do the StreamYards thing, but I went to the StreamYards and it was a black screen. So, we fade to black. Here we are. Yeah, we're going to do another live stream giveaway next Sunday at 3 p.m. Am I off next Sunday? Yeah, okay. If you are, I would love to stop by. If I'm off, why not? Like I said, I enjoy your live streams. Anybody for Valerie Reese, I do encourage you to um check out her channel. And also Melanie, yes, we do have to have that conversation. I do want to have that conversation with you about race, especially race in America, what's going on, especially with Asian hate and all the other stuff, Black Lives Matter and the politics and the divisiveness of our society. There's a lot going on that needs to be discussed. There's a lot going on that needs to be talked about. I know I'm doing a lot of other videos and other content right now, but my mind is still focused on different things. Sometimes you got to detox from the news. I mean, there's graphic things going on. I mean, I heard some news about a 13-year-old. No, it's not a 13-year-old. I think like a 10, 11-year-old was shot, a couple of days ago or something like that. Some graphic situations that my mother was telling me about. And I tell people, watch your kids, protect the youth, look out for the vulnerable among us. There are also people out there worried about the vaccination, as far as, I don't know if anybody took the shot. Oh yeah, that's one of the things that I forgot to tell folks. I did take my second shot of the Moderna. Lava Monster, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Thank you for giving this a thumbs up. Yeah, now streaming on YouTube is yours truly. Yes, I'm here. I don't know for how long. What's up? What's up? What's up, Rosado? I appreciate you. Thank you for coming. I'm fully vaccinated as well too. But to those people out there that's fully vaccinated, you remember you have an inoculation period. There are too many people that are getting vaccinated and they're running out there to the parties, to the Corona parties, and they're getting sick and they don't know why they're getting sick. After you get vaccinated, you get the 2 shots, right? And you can go document. You can go document this. You can go look this up and verify it for yourself. You're supposed to wait for a 2 week period. I was talking to a priest. I was talking to somebody, who was talking about, a priest was talking about this today. He got the second shot, and you still got to wait anywhere from 10 days to 2 weeks. Yeah, no, I know who it is. I know his father is. I know who you are. I was trying not to say the father part in the thing. I was trying not to blow you up, but yes, I know who you are, man. I didn't forget about you. Dolly, I know you were there. We got a Catholic priest inside the chat. I ain't mad at that. We have some Catholic community among us. Happy Divine Mercy Sunday to all the Catholic folks out there and to all the religious folks out there. I appreciate anybody of any religion. Excuse me, I got distracted. This lemon is actually going bad. You see this? This is live here. Says that. Thank you. I know you're still around, but if anybody sees this, this is kind of crazy. Lulu, love you. Appreciate you for coming through. I'm glad I actually was doing this. And it's kind of crazy. You got to take the spoiled one. I don't like lemons to spoil. I usually use this for my tea. So now I got to check the other lemons to see if they spoiled. You see that? I don't know if you see that. Anybody want a spoiled lemon or expiring lemon, let me know. But I do keep my lemons good. So the one that was next to the other lemon, I got to wash this off. Maybe you got to cut that. That lemon was past bad. Yeah, no, it is past bad. But this one, let me know. You think this one is spoiling, or that one was next to the lemon that was spoiling. I hope that's just the dye that was on there. They were together. They were next to each other. So I can't discriminate on this lemon. This lemon is going to to a greener pasture. I don't know. I got to check my limes too. Also got limes because you can get confused. You got limes in there too. So I got limes in there. Like I said, this is impromptu. I didn't know we were gonna have like a fruit segment of the live stream. But yeah, so now I'm just checking my fruit. After 2 weeks, you have 93% safety. We still have a 7% chance of getting sick. That's why I use lemon juice instead of the fruit. Well, lemon fruit, sometimes it's too much salt inside the lemon. So, it's less salt in this, than the other one. But yeah, this is interesting. I mean, should be the thumbnail for the live stream, right? This is funny. This is nasty though. No, it's not. Nah. It's funny. I'm thinking to myself. I said, maybe I should cut this part of the lemon and try to use that part of the lemon and drink it in some tea. Yes, happy Divine Mercy Sunday to you. Is all good. So now I'm checking my fruit to make sure my fruit is not spoiled and bad. So I'm assuming that these are okay. If I'm still here a couple of days later, then the lemons were good. And I got to check them all to make sure nothing else is expiring. So, and the crazy thing is I got a whole bunch of other lemons and stuff like that I need to use. My mother gets on me about that because I'll let lemons and stuff sit around. No, toss it. Well, listen, I'm going to toss it to you, Llama Monster. I'm going to send this to you, toss this to you. Here you go. Like I said, anybody want an expired lemon, for a limited time only, I got you. It may expire. Toss it. Yep. Okay. True. Toss it. But you talk about toss it, but there's still a certain part. See, this part right here, this little part right here is not. Well, yeah, it kind of is. So, yeah, maybe we gotta toss that. But anyway, hope springs eternal for the lemons out there that are still around, and look at the beautiful colors. Look at all the beautiful colors I got. Like I said, this is a panoply of fruit right here. You could have lemon lime juice. That's one of the things I do to try to keep myself together. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I don't even know what made me reach for the lemon, but like I said, I didn't bring you on this live stream to talk about lemons and limes and expiring and all that other stuff. We were talking about the vaccination. And as far as the vaccination is concerned, I don't know if anybody seen me on YouTube, what I said about that. Not YouTube, Facebook, when I was talking about it. Don't go out there doing nothing strange. Do your research, find out for yourself, speak to your health professional, really get in tune with your doctor or whoever, you speak to from a healthcare standpoint. Don't just look for, the news media. Don't look for your friends. Don't go into this conspiracy theories because you never know. But like I said, find out and research it for yourself. You saw that it distracted you. Yes, it did distract me, Adalia. It did distract me. But, I'm always distracted by something. You got to keep yourself focused and whatnot. And I do appreciate all you folks on a Divine Mercy Sunday night actually coming and seeing me and sitting down and listening to me talk. like I said, there's so much going on in the world, and there's so much to talk about, so many things that's happening. And if anything, Father Dolly, we need some prayer out there. So if you got some prayers, send some prayers out there. Do not use Dr. Facebook. Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that if you don't use Facebook or social media. Social media has a lot of scary things going on it. So you just got to be careful, especially with social media, because too much of your life out there is crazy. But for the most part, I think we do need a lot of prayer. There's a lot of people out there hurting. There's a lot of people out there struggling. There's a lot of viciousness. There's a lot of things going on with our politics. There's a lot of people being robbed. There are people being sexually assaulted. There are people, going through things, physically. There's a lot going on that we need to pay attention to, and you just got to try to be safe. New moon is 6 minutes, my friend. New moon, 6 minutes. New moon. Interesting. I got it. Yeah, you are in a different part of the world. So yeah, why not? New moon is 6 minutes. That's interesting. I gotta look into the sky. I'll probably do that when the time comes. But I want to know out there from you folks, because I don't like to when I'm on these live streams, I want people to understand I really, really don't like to talk and talk and talk. It may seem like that I could do that for hours and hours and yap away, as some people say, but is there anything on your mind? Is there anything pressing? Is there anything, any one of you in the chat that have anything to say? Any questions? Any comments? Any criticisms? Do you like the plants in the back? Do you like this lemon that I still have here for some strange reason, as a prop or effect? I mean, is there anything that you want to say, that you want to express? I mean, I'll address anything that you want to talk about at this particular point, because we're now streaming on YouTube. It's yours truly, Mel X365, live from his own channel. I know there's something in your mind. I know there's something going on. I know there's something you may want to talk about. I wish I could have you up here. For anybody that know the first live stream that I tried that did not work. So with the first live stream, my attempt was to get on StreamYards and come on here and have an open forum and invite somebody up, and we could have talked about whatever you want to talk about. Just wanted to tell you that tell the world to maintain a high vibration of love and light. Yeah, well, no, it says that we do need to maintain a high vibration of love and light. Gun violence is up in NYC, NYC, New York City here, unfortunately. And that's a whole complicated issue within itself. You use StreamYards. Yes, I know you do use StreamYards, Adali. You're probably more proficient at it than me. I haven't used StreamYards in a while. I think I used it 2 or 3 times. So what I want to do is get back on StreamYards or one of those platforms, so where if I want to get on a live stream and have a conversation with people, I can have that conversation. Because like I said, I'm a conversationalist, but it's hard to have a conversation sometimes when you're talking through. I can't think of anything. I could usually come up with something. I'm slacking and stressed. God is good and he is in control. Keep your heart. And sorry about that. Keep your heart. And keep your heart, and you won't need to worry about anything. I definitely agree. We can meet up. I'll help. Yes, Adalia, I would definitely appreciate that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know where to find me. So I'm not a hard person to find. Definitely. Definitely not a hard person to find. But with all the stuff that's going on in the world, and I say this for the folks that are of faith, if you're not of faith, my setup cost is about $1,200. Oh, you're trying to get my stimulus check. You're funny. That's a funny joke. So, but on a serious note, I say to all the people of faith, to all the praying folks out there, to anybody that believes in God in any real substantive way, there's a lot of people out there who are in trouble, who are sick, who need help, who are going through things. There are people, who are not going to make it out of this day. There are people who are not going to make it to the next day. There are people who are really struggling. What's going on, Detox Diva? Thank you. Headed to bed. Just want to see who you on. Yeah, no. I'm on. I'm just freestyling right now, KC. But like I said, I was just telling folks out there, who are praying folks, who are believers, to like just pray for this world right now. There's a lot of vicious, nasty, ugly things that are going on in this planet right now. People, doing strange things, for stimulus checks, people going through all kind of stuff with corona parties, people, with gun violence, folks getting kidnapped, things happening, stuff that's being talked about, stuff that's not being talked about, different things politically going on. There's a lot going on that's not being, put out there in a realistic way. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah, nah, we do need more positivity in this world, and I do encourage those people who have positivity in their heart. I got my government bribe buddy is spit already. Yeah, I got to spit my bribe buddy too. Lava Master. I definitely got to spit my bribe buddy. You know what's funny about speaking about the bribe buddy? I didn't know that people who had kids, the kids were getting stimulus checks. I don't know. How does anybody feel about that? Think about it, because I have a coworker. She has like a 1 year old, and like the 1 year old is getting the stimulus check. So you say to yourself, the kid, no, not even one. The kid is 3 months old, and you're giving the kid $1,400. What is a infant gonna do with $1,400? Oh, kids is $500. Okay, fine. Some kids is okay with $500. What is a kid? What is a 3 month old doing with $500? I mean, what are you going to buy, some baby formula or something? I don't know. And I see people leave in the chat. Like I said, I'm not knocking anybody. Kid 26. I wish. Yeah, no. I see people leave in the chat. I'm rambling on and whatnot. I'm not knocking anybody for having it, but at the same time, I was just wondering about that. It's for the parents to take care of them. Well, yeah, but the parents is getting a check, and then I guess the kids is getting a check. So I'm not a parent, so there you go. I'm in the dark. Children are expensive. Yes, children are expensive. I can't knock that. I mean, but if they're saying it's for the kid, that's why it gets confusing, because you got to check for the parent and then you got to check for the kid. So you spending both of the checks on the kid, or you spending both of the checks on the parent? Anyway, like I said, I don't know. Maybe somebody has to explain it to me. I don't have kids, but with that being said, it's all good. It's all good. It's so many things going on. I got to a Yankee game and I paid $20. Hey, listen, I'm not big of a Yankee fan, but hey, why not? It works out. It's all good. And I thank you for the 4 people that's rocking with me. Thank you for the 5 people that hit me with the thumbs up. If you got with 4 kids, it's 100. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know how the stimulus is going, but as Lama Master calls, bribery money. Yeah, that's just kind of what that is right there. Spend your money wisely. If I say to anybody, spend your money wisely. Don't spend it all in one place. I can't tell people too much about saving, but financial literacy is a whole other ball of wax of things that's going on like that. I don't know. It's funny. It's a whole bunch. Yeah, you could save it, but with inflation going on, Adali, it's so much happening. So, that's kind of what that is. I just say, figure out ways to spend your money wisely. Red Sox. Wow, you're a Red Sox fan. Oh man. Let me. This live is over. Nah. Yeah. Sorry to hear that, Lava Monster. But moving right along. We are just where we are, and like I said, I just wanted to get on and talk to you folks and just wrap a taste with you, and just do what we do. And my tax refund is going through my Roth IRA. That's actually a smart move there, Dolly. Most people don't know what Roth IRAs and all that stuff is set up, but it's an individual retirement account. And you can set that up in many ways, as a CD, as a pass-through account, as a retirement account through your job. There's many things that you could do with a Roth IRA, the deferred payments to when you're of retirement age to go get that, especially if you're a certain age. But this is not financial advice. I'm not saying that anything that I'm saying you should follow, but sit down with a financial planner or a retirement specialist to figure out what you can do with a Roth or can't do with a Roth IRA. That's that. But that's a good choice right there. Nothing wrong with that. And like I was saying, like I said, I'm just trying to talk to you folks, just wrap a taste with you. Thank you for the people that are actually coming in and out, that are in this live stream. My tax refund is helping with our house remodel projects. Listen, that's also a great thing too. There's a lot of fun and exciting things that you can do, around the house for yourself, to help yourself, if that's crazy. Yes, yes, Adali. I had to say this is not financial advice, because you got to be careful. You start talking about financial instruments and things on here on YouTube, I can actually be sued. So anything that I say regarding money, saving money, IRAs, stock market, anything, is not to be taken as financial advice. It is only entertainment, because I do not want to get sued, even in the live stream where I'm not making a whole bunch of money or any money at all. So like I said, this is not financial advice. But I love you, and I hope that everything works out with you and your money, whoever you may be. Cheryl, I appreciate you for coming through all the way from California. Is it raining out there? Not sure. This not constitute legal advice. Yes, yes, Adali. Anything that I'm saying about money on this live stream does not constitute as legal advice in any stretch, way, form, or fashion. Pay the feds refund from the state equals zero. There you go. Even with that, what I just said, nothing I'm saying is financial advice. So do not take my word for it. If you make any financial moves with anything, that is up to you, totally up to you. So nope. Not getting cooler though. Yeah, not yet getting cooler though. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. Getting cooler. Sometimes the weather drops, it goes up, and things like that happen. But like I said, I just hope that everybody is okay out there. I hope everybody is just, going through, because I see a lot of hopelessness out there. I see a lot of people, in despair. Some people are thriving and doing different things. I just want folks to be safe with their families. I just want folks to prosper. We got to try to survive this corona, because these masks, wearing these masks and putting these masks on, it can get tiresome. I'm trying to make sure that I put this mask on the right way. Well, did I put this mask on the right way? I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a weatherman as well too. I think people are just tired of wearing masks and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on corona as far as when they think this will end. Maybe you could tell me, do you think corona will last for the rest of this year and then we're done? Do you think we're going into 2022, 2023? I want to know from you in the chat. When do you think we'll actually get through the coronavirus? Also, thank you to the folks that gave me the 5 thumbs up. I do appreciate that. You think we'll never get over the corona, Adali? I mean, maybe you could elaborate on that. I mean, I have my own thoughts on why we may never get over corona and why we may have to still deal with it. Tired of it too. No idea. No idea. Well, yeah, I mean, some people are saying about 2025 will probably be over corona. There's some thoughts about it when it comes to corona that we're never going to get over it, because people do seem not to care, about it. Maybe it's a fatigue, maybe you're tired of the social distance and quarantining and stuff like that. Certain restrictions have been lifted. No comment, you're still my friend. Well, listen, hey, it's all good. I don't judge anybody based upon whatever's going on. Lots of people don't want the vaccination. Well, yeah, that's true. A lot of people don't want the vaccination. But I guess my comment on it, as far as coronavirus and when will it end, if it will ever end, people are still saying it's fake news. Yes, people do say it, especially in Brazil. Yeah, God, please help the people of Brazil right now. Brazil's going through it crazy right now. I mean, people are just dying left and right. They got fields of people in the forest or something somewhere, and just out there being buried left and right. But one of the reasons why I'll say it may not run away or go away or dissipate right away is because there are too many people out there who are getting infected. A lot of people feel like it's fake news mixed about the vaccinations, but I have no clue when this might end. Yeah, there's a lot of people feeling like that. Some people are feeling that it may never end. And one of the reasons they may feel like it never ends is because you got so many people that are getting infected. There are variants. There's all kind of stuff. It's a flu. All people don't get the flu shot. Why doesn't the government push the flu shot on people? Yeah, that's a good question. But I think one of the reasons, Valerie Reese, one of the reasons why they don't push the flu shot on people, because it keeps mutating. If people don't take the vaccination, or at least do stuff to make themselves healthy, or people need to get herd immunity, whatever the case may be, which I'm not really the biggest fan of herd immunity. It's one of those things, because there's so many different variants. Because you remember the bird flu, the swine flu, all these things happen. Please close the chat and give that close the chat and give that thumbs up, then click, and then the live chat in return. Oh, you're talking to me. Okay. As far as that goes, Miss Valerie Reese, I think because it's out there and it's too many variants of it, of whatever is the flu, whether it's corona, SARS, whatever you want to call it, people are not recovering from this thing, and it's mutating. The mutations are the biggest problem right now, because I think they got the B1 variant, something from UK, something from South Africa. I'm not getting people to give you that thumbs up. Okay. Thanks, Adali. I do appreciate that. As far as the thumbs up, as far as people watching, I do appreciate you. Thank you for anybody that's coming in and out, because I've seen people coming. I think it's as much as 7 people in the chat. Hopefully, I'm not rambling on for you too much. This is just one of those live streams where I'm going back and forth, where I'm just talking about different things. I wish I could have a guest up. The conversation would be a little bit more interesting as far as me just talking, and this is like a monologue. But yeah, I was talking about coronavirus, and this is for anybody for posterity, I guess. So why do people still have to wear masks if they have the vaccine? It's a tech thing. Some people do not know how to give the thumbs up. The thing is that it is great we all have our choice. Yes, I agree with Sis Dad saying it's great that we all have our choice. Yeah, because I don't judge anybody whether you choose to take the vaccine or you don't change the vaccine. Thank you, Adali, for trying to get people to give the thumbs up. I appreciate the 7 thumbs up. I appreciate the 5 people watching. And shout out to the replay gang for anybody that may watch. I may actually keep this live stream up, but that's another story. And to Valerie Reese, as far as what you're saying, it's a challenge with that, trying to push things on folks, because again, the thing mutates. Is it annoying to take the vaccination and then for them to tell you that, oh, there's still a chance that you may catch coronavirus? Yes. When they're telling you probably may have to have a booster shot? Yes, that's annoying. Do you want to be in the midst of that? No, you don't. Yeah, we still have a 7% chance of getting sick. Yes, we do. So it's kind of crazy, and the percentage of getting sick comes from the variant. It comes from the fact that you have whole countries and whole societies, which we haven't even talked about, the poor countries, which are not getting the vaccination for whatever reasons, whether it come from whether you're dealing with a terrorist regime, whether you're dealing with a corrupt country, whether you're dealing with a communist country. It gets dicey because you got the geopolitics that's involved, and do you want to really help a country that may be enemies of America or of the UK? So that goes with that whole thing right there. So it's so many moving parts, especially when the politicians get involved. Like it's like somebody told me, old timer told me, they said anytime a politician gets involved with something, it could be something as simple as trying to pick fruit. It becomes political. Let's say a Republican likes limes, let's say a Democrat likes lemons. Automatically, it's a political thing. So anytime politicians get involved, it becomes political, and it becomes, a whole big thing. And if anybody that's coming in, I'm talking about coronavirus. Do you think coronavirus is going to go away anytime soon? How do you feel about the vaccination? Would you take the vaccination? Why don't you take the vaccination? If you don't want to answer those questions, you don't have to. That's just something I'm posing out there. And I'm saying this for anybody, for posterity, for anybody that may want to answer, when this thing actually gets uploaded to my channel, however it's going to get uploaded, whenever. Like I said, there's so many different questions. And it's like Sis Dad was saying, a doctor told me to take the C. What do you mean take the C? I don't know what you mean. You got to explain that's the C. I don't know what the C is. But anyway, I agree with Sid Dad was talking about. It's a good thing that we have our own choice. The vaccine. Oh, okay, the vaccine. Well, yeah, I mean, but still, it's a personal choice, Dolly. Anybody could tell you as a medical professional that you need to take the vaccine, but some people may be immune compromised, and like I said, I'm not judging anybody like that. They may have issues with that, or they may be afraid, because there are people who have died from the vaccines. Especially with the Johnson and Johnson, only being 65% effective. This does not constitute as medical advice. Yes, this does not. It's popular with some, but does not. It's not popular with others. Yes, Cheryl, it's not. And I want to put that out there too. Anything that I'm saying and talking about coronavirus does not constitute as medical advice. I am not a medical professional. Please do not follow any advice that I'm giving you as far as whether to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine. If you choose to take the vaccine, I would tell you to consult with your medical defection. Yes, 65% effective. That's what they're saying with the Johnson and Johnson. Don't quote me on that, but they're saying 65%. Anybody that's taking the AstraZeneca, that's a whole other situation. They're saying people catching blood clots for that. Pfizer, you got some religious issues about what's in there. The flu kills people too. People who are high risk can die of anything. We're just talking here. Hopefully people should know this. Yes, Cheryl, but just in case it gets to a point, I'm not giving out any financial advice. I'm not giving out any medical advice. We're just talking. Mel, for me, you were the thumb on the post of LYC. I enjoy your info. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, sis. That I wish a lot of other people felt that way, but there's a whole lot of other folks that know a whole lot more than me. But I do appreciate that. Thank you. I'm humbled by that. I'm not as much of a pulse as I would like to be, but I do appreciate you for saying that. Yeah, but Cheryl, I say that I say that, Cheryl, because again, you don't know. I could do a live stream right now, and there's 6 people in this live stream. I love you live stream because it's you. Thank you, Aldali. I appreciate that. The reason I say what I say about any disclaimers, financial, medical, or otherwise, is because there's 6 people in this live stream right now, and there may be a few more that may watch later on or whatever reason. But I may say something or do something that somebody may say, "Hey, I followed his advice," or something happens and I'm responsible for that. So I would tell anybody, if I had to give you any real advice that you need to follow, that you need to take, if you're going to talk about anything that's official, anything medical, anything financial, anything political, give disclaimers. The disclaimers will save you, because this is for entertainment purposes only. Look at this lemon. I don't know, but the thing about it is, like I said, I'm talking, I'm just discussing stuff, sharing information. This is opinions. These are just my thoughts. This is what you think. You know how that goes. It's kind of one of those things you want to get, a consensus of where people are coming from, and you just do it that way. People bring up a lot of great points. Like I said, I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't know it all. There's a lot of people out there who are much smarter than me. There's experts and professionals. Unfortunately, right, you have to these days. Yes, you have to give disclaimers, Cheryl. I tell anybody, if you got a YouTube channel, if you got a public platform, I don't care if you're speaking to yourself in the dark and 10 people can hear you outside. You give a disclaimer in the dark. This is friends in conversation. Yes, this is friends in conversation, but guess what? Friends have friends that know doctors and lawyers and judges and all that. The 3 states have to stop using J&J. Yeah, three states have to stop using J&J, but with that, um, I mean, it is what it is. I appreciate you. I know who the TNT is. Thank you for coming through. When it comes to the vaccine, it's dicey because you don't really know. You don't really know. I was speaking to one young guy and I was asking him, I said, would you take the vaccine? He said if he had to take it, he would take it. I mean, really, it's one of those things where unless you're going to strap somebody down, and the guy I'm talking to is like almost 7 feet tall, 300 pounds. So trying to strap that guy down, you had to just literally just knock him out. But that's a whole other story. I'm not getting involved in that. Anyway, like I was saying, do the research for yourself. One would hope, says that, oh, you're talking to him. What I would say, do your own research, speak to the medical professionals, make the decision for yourself. This is why I stick on my faith, on my channel, Express the Time, the doctors, Dalio, True, true. If you have faith and you're somebody that's religious, you can lean on that. You can definitely do that. I mean, you take a risk stepping outside the door every day. That's really the whole gist of it. Everything is going to be a risk. Everything is going to be a chance. You try to take calculated risk. I would tell anybody, take calculated risk, regardless whether you're religious, regardless whether you're atheist, whoever you are, about friends in conversation. Yeah, no, I got you, sure, I got you. I still protect myself even with friends in conversation, because when you having your friends in conversation and you're in a public forum, you got to put disclaimers out there. And again, I have friends that will tell me off to the side, Mel, you shouldn't have said that, or Mel, you shouldn't have said this, or Mel, you were wrong, or Mel, your followers know, and da 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 da. And I'm like, look, you're right. I don't think they have any medical professionals in West Virginia to talk to. Well, listen, you got Dr. Fauci in Washington, D.C. But like I said, nothing against Dr. Fauci. I would like to have an interview with Dr. Fauci. I would ask him all kind of crazy questions. I remember I was watching the interview with Dr. Fauci, and it was with the rapper Fat Joe, and he was asking him, he said, okay, if you take the vaccine, is it going to be safe to go back into the strip club? And I'm saying to myself, All hail King Pfizer. Yeah, okay. And I'm thinking to myself, why would you ask Dr. Fauci, is it okay to get the vaccine or wear the mask or whatever so you could go back into the strip club? But everybody got their thing. Why not? I just say to folks out there, whatever you do, be safe, be smart about it, Oh, you caught that melody, you caught that. Just be safe, be smart out there. I mean, and I get it, because listen, I I wear this thing, yeah, the strip club. Listen, I'm not making this up. Dr. Fauci had an interview with the rapper Fat Joe, and he was like, yeah, he said it a couple times. And Dr. Fauci was kind of like trying to dodge it or weave it like the Matrix. It's like you got the one of the leading healthcare professionals in the world, and you want to ask him, is it safe to go back into the strip club? But I was like, I get it, whatever. That's Fat Joe, trying to get a moment. Anyway, like I was saying, I know it's annoying to wear this thing. Yeah, it was hilarious because I wear this thing basically all day, especially working in the church. And I'm sitting there talking with this. Wash your hands and respect other people's personal space. You'd be surprised, Miss Valerie Reese. You'd be surprised how many times I had to tell people today to put on their mask. Just flashed on Mel Mel eating the selection of orange. The lemon brings a big smile today. Yes, the lemon does bring a big smile, but do you like this lemon or do you like this lemon? It's your choice. No, no, it's not. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, back to that, Valerie. You'll be surprised how many people I had to tell today to keep the mask on. I argued with one lady, and one lady was like, "Give me a minute, give me a minute. I'm trying to pray and genuflect, and it's against my rights. And who are you to tell me?" Margarita, my green cheek says hi. That's funny. Um, it's crazy because people do feel, and I get it, people do feel like they're being infringed upon. I wear my mask in public always. Unfortunately, Cheryl, I do not. Yeah, you know how that is, Melody. Unfortunately, I do not wear my mask when I'm outside. I would tell people like this: I'll keep my mask with me as I'm going to stores. You should wash your hands after touching that icky lemon. Oh yeah, yeah. I will wash my hands, off camera. Like I said, you know what? I'll do something better for you. I'll do something better for you. I have this peroxide. I got this peroxide. So I throw some peroxide on my hands, and the peroxide may help, with everything. I still should touch the lemon, right? Just to make you feel better, Llama Monster. I got this peroxide. But again, this is not medical advice. I'm not telling you how to wash your hands. I don't want anybody, don't use the peroxide without speaking to your doctor. I don't want to get sued. This is something I just did right now. You ain't got to do that. It doesn't help. See, there you go. You got somebody saying it doesn't help. Like I said, it's not medical advice, just in case, I don't want to get sued. Okay, I feel better about the lemon touching now. Thanks. Like I said, some people say it don't help. Some people believe it does help. Like I said, speak to your medical professionals. I don't want to get sued. I'm not trying to get sued. These are the ingredients inside of it. Like I said, this is peroxide. This is not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't want to get sued. It's not medical advice. Do as you feel. But like I was saying, when it comes to the mask and all that stuff, it gets annoying dealing with people because they want you. I know people personally who work in security and other places, they have to wear masks. And then other people coming in don't want to wear masks. And then you got bosses saying stuff about you not wearing masks and everything is a mask, a mask. And that's a Valerie Reese. I didn't forget about your question. Why take the vaccine, right, and then have to still wear a mask? Well, to answer the question, at least from what I gathered from listening and hearing from different medical professionals, because you have the 7% chance, like Adali was talking about, that has that chance. Let me see. I don't always wear my mask or require others to wear masks around me just to get in my personal space. Yes, that is also important. Whether we wear masks or not, we got to worry about personal space. So I tell anybody, whether you have mask on or not, always watch personal space. Unless you're Holly Berry and you just want to get close to me to try to protect me and keep me from the cold, lonely world. Oh, this cold world. Anyway, unless you want to protect me, Holly, everybody else, keep keep your distance. But anyway, like I said, Holly, you might be watching, so let me get myself together. Anyway. But all jokes aside, unless you're Holly Berry, yes, yes, other beautiful women out there too. Like I said, other beautiful women. I don't want to call nobody out. Like I said, you're all beautiful. Thank you for all the beautiful women in the chat too. Like I said, I love everybody. I don't want to discriminate, white, black, everything. But like I was, like I was saying, forgive me. I'm just going off on a tangent. Um, yeah, back to what Valerie Reese was saying. Uh, stay away from my berry. Well, you funny. You funny. We're gonna have to fight. We're gonna have to fight over that. But anyway, anyway, like I said, forgive me for getting sidetracked. God save. Yes, yes. God save us all. God save the Queen. It made me think of her husband that just passed away. Condolences to that. Oh yeah, and also DMX. Rest in peace to DMX. X gonna give it to you. And anybody else that lost any loved ones out there, definitely, because we also get caught up in the celebrities and all that other stuff. I trust God to stay healthy and let my immune system do what it's supposed to do. But here's the thing about that, Valerie. When the immune system, and you're right when it comes to the immune system and trusting in God and doing that. And some people trust the science, but it comes down to this. This is where it gets tricky when it comes to the immune system. You know, everybody doesn't have a strong immune system. Everybody doesn't trust in God. Everybody doesn't trust in the science. So it goes back to Sid Dad's point. Thank God that we have our own choices. Because I try not to ostracize anybody based upon the choices, that they make. If you choose to get vaccinated, then you get vaccinated. If you choose not to, then you don't. If you believe the science, then you do. If you don't believe the science, you don't. I think everybody should have their right to make their own choice. The one thing that I will say is I think it's about your personal space. I think you should respect people's personal space or the decisions that they make. I think if it's people that are immune compromised, that don't, understand the science, or don't agree with the science, I think it's compromises and things that we, assurances or I guess, not assurances. What's the word? I'm thinking of it. It'll come to me. But like I said, I think there's measures that people should take, regardless of who you're dealing with. Because, like I said, I don't like wearing this mask. Sometimes I'm wearing this mask 6, 7, 8, 9 hours a day. And I don't want to wear a mask and then tell other people not, to put their mask on and do that. But I understand everybody, doesn't take the vaccine. Everybody can't take the vaccine. Everybody doesn't understand mutual respect. Yeah, maybe mutual respect is the word. I think it's about respecting other people's decisions, respecting other people's choices, because I think every comment that was made up as far as the vaccine is concerned is relevant. I think every thought is relevant about it. I don't think there's an irrelevant thought or thing that's said about anything concerning the vaccine, whether you want to take it or not take it. I think it's a personal decision. And what I do think is that people should be respected for their decisions, because too many times we vilify people. Maybe they don't understand the science. Maybe they're caught up in dogma. Maybe they just, don't believe it exists. Maybe they think it's fake news. I understand that part too. Maybe, you somewhere with Mar-a-Lago with Trump, trying to figure out a way, I don't know if anybody heard about Trump. He said it should be called the Trump zine instead of the vaccine, the vaccine, the Trump zine. Anybody want to take the Trump zine, come up with that. It is healthy for a person to wear a mask. Is it healthy for a person to wear a mask 8 hours a day? It's probably not. What I do is I change my mask out. Like I'll change my mask maybe 2 or 3 times. I'll take breaks, 15-minute breaks, 10-minute breaks, have my lunch break. So what I try to do is if I step outside, I pull the mask down. If anybody feels some type of way, then oh well, it's my lungs. And some people do have trouble with the mask as far as breathing is concerned, because you gotta remember, it's hard for people to wear the mask, especially when you go into certain establishments. And that's something. I wear my mask mostly because of where I live. I do not think any government has the right to force you or a vaccine on anyone. True, but here's where it gets dicey, Cheryl. And I'm glad you brought up that point. And this is for anybody that works or doesn't work. We would all understand this. Let's say you just say what Cheryl said. Oh, don't force me to wear a mask and don't force me to get the vaccine. Okay, let's say you have a government job, and unlike myself, like myself and other people, we've had government jobs before. I've National Guard and all that stuff. Okay, let me see what Melanie is saying before I get into this. I'm trying to get my chat together. Excuse me. Okay, I watched a really good debate on Jubilee, and on the channel, and Vax versus anti-Vax. The debate, it was done so respectfully and so interesting to hear people's thoughts. Shades of Nazi Germany. Oh, that's interesting. Sure. Here's the thing. Let's go to that. Maybe it's shades of Nazi Germany because I've heard people say communism. I heard people say stuff like that. Okay. What do you do in a situation? Let's say you have a state job. Let's say you have a government job. And you say the same statement that Cheryl just said in the comment, but you can't force me to the vaccine and all this other stuff. And you're making good money and your family is good. And then all of a sudden they say to you, after being out for so long, that if you want to come back to this job, that you have to take the vaccine. And let's say you have a six-figure income, a nice house with two cats in the yard. My house is a very, very, very fine house with two cats in the yard. Life used to be so hard. Anyway, like I said, it's that type of situation. And then all of a sudden they tell you, you know what? You want to keep those two cats in the house, you got to get hit with the AstraZeneca, the Johnson and Johnson, a combination of two. Maybe they're mixing it. I don't know. What do you do? What do you do? What if they tell you, hey, you got to get that vaccination if you want to keep that job? Or let's say another scenario. You want to travel overseas to whatever foreign country, let's say Australia. And Australia has some of the strictest COVID restrictions in the world. I mean, they locking down whole cities, whole countries. It's wrong regardless. This is America, right? I mean, it's still America, freedom of choice. Yes, it's freedom of choice in America for how long? Until what? What happens if this thing becomes 10 times more serious than what it is? What if it's a situation, what if this was airborne? Like, what if it was a situation where it was a flesh-eating virus? Then what? What would you do? There's all these particular things. What if it was something that you wanted to go visit somebody overseas? You got family overseas, and then they're telling you you have to take this vaccination to get on the plane to go see grandmother that lives in Wales or Scotland somewhere. What do you do? Well, it is a real problem, and it is creates some ethical dilemmas that has it's not airborne. Yeah, true, but what if it was? It's not as deadly as it could have been, but what if it was? And you don't want to have to go into the what ifs, but here's the reality. Okay, some saying it is. So then maybe I have to do more research on that. Again, like I said, this is not medical advice. Do your research. Maybe I need to go back and research that. Some people saying it is airborne, some people saying it's not. I feel we are being led by fear, a lot of fear. It could be, but there's science behind this. There are things that actually lead to this. No, it's not airborne. I agree. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, I'll do more research on it and I'll get back to you. Some people saying it's airborne, some people saying it's not airborne. Like I said, I'm not going to debate either side. Like I said, our Constitution and our rights are in question here, my friend. I'm not saying they aren't. That's what this conversation is. You're right. You're right, says that it is in question. How much right does the government have to tell you to wear a mask or to try to get you to vaccinate? I mean, right now it's voluntarily. What happens if it becomes something where they mandate it? It's something that people can recover from, thank God. But there are people who can't recover from coronavirus. There are people who can't take the vaccine. So what if you catch the vaccination? I mean, what to catch the vaccination? What if you can't take the vaccination? And what if you're compromised by coronavirus? Like I said, what do you do? It sets up these situations where they're going to require people moving forward. What's going on, Phil's Creepy Videos? I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. We were just talking about coronavirus and we're talking about the vaccine and what's going on. It's a respiratory disease. Not doubting that. Not doubting that it's a respiratory disease. It's interesting because what do you do in the midst of this situation? Like I said, it's cut and dry until it cuts into your money. It's it seems cut and dry until people want to travel, until you want to do things. Maybe you want to see a ball game. Maybe you want to go visit a relative or something. They have no right to force Americans against their will. That we talk about that. I mean, people are falling in the vaccine. Well, the thing, Cheryl, with that, you say you have no right, and it is in the Constitution, and there's a lot of things going on with that. But again, what do you do in the case of a national emergency? Remember, it is still a pandemic. People are still dying from this thing. Numbers are still being reported. The numbers are going up. The numbers are going down. More people are taking the vaccine, but not everybody's taking the vaccine. So, like I said, there's ethical dilemmas. This stream is liked by me. Thank you, Phil's Creepy Videos. I appreciate you. Any horror fans out there, definitely check out Phil's. Yeah, he does the horror things. He's a real horror, gory, guy. He goes hard for it. Make sure you smash that like button. Appreciate you. Thank you. I don't know but as it pertains to this vaccine, and coronavirus and the pandemic, it's a complicated thing. Yeah, I heard Michigan right now is crazy with COVID. Yes. So when you have these things and you're saying, okay, you're not going to force people to take the vaccine, what do you do? Do you just let people die? 2K of our 600K, Cheryl. Well, there you go. But the thing is, it's crazy because it's so many different things going on and so many people in their feelings. I know of two people that died. Hold on. I want to go back to this thing. I know of two people that died, and they recorded that they died COVID and they never had COVID. The numbers are inflated, fake. I clearly got some strong feelings. It's cool. However, the government has us afraid of our own shadow. Well, maybe there's false information out there, Valerie. And definitely, Cheryl, I don't dismiss that there's people that are afraid and fears being used. I won't discount that. I won't discount anything that you're saying. All the stuff that you're saying in the chat, whether you're wrong, whether you're right, is relevant. Drone worship, appreciate that. Thank you for coming through. Woo! In America, people are focused on their own rights and freedoms more than anything. Well, I mean, I understand your opinion and more information. Yeah, no, definitely more information is needed. How you know they didn't have COVID? Well, that's a great question. TT is putting up there. It's so much false information going on. There's so many things that are happening. It's so much that people don't know. I would say to whoever, wherever, whatever your background, whatever your belief, wherever you come from, whether you believe the science or you don't follow the science, is to be informed for yourself. Unfortunately, with the internet, with a lot of fake news, with a lot of false information out there, people are not well informed. And for those of us of a certain age, of an older age, we used to be more informed. Don't stress about things that you don't have control over. You will learn. You get gray hair early. Well, I do have gray hair. I do have gray hair, draw worship, as you can see in my beard. So I've done a lot of worrying over my time, even at the tender age of 40. One lady was 102 and she died of old age, and her friend's grandmother, she was sick. She didn't go out. Well, unfortunately, I mean, people are going to get sick from many things. Your life is controlled by how much time you are willing to invest in things that frustrate you every moment, spend in the moment you won't get to spend back on the time wasted. Well, this is true. This is true. You try to not worry about things that you can't change. And those are wise words again from drone worship. But people do have concerns. So what I'll say, drone worship, is yes, you're right, but I try not to just dismiss anybody's concerns, because all concerns are relevant, because the concerns that you have, they inform your decisions, or they drive and influence your decisions that you make. You tell people to control their emotions and not succumb to fear, and not get into the propaganda of it all. You do. But at the end of it all, we're human beings with flaws, with frailties. I don't know how something in Southern California, I don't know. I live in Southern California. Apparently, we're swamped with COVID in hospitals. Yes. You can be swamped with COVID, but here's the play devil's advocate. If I flip to the other side with that, some people are saying, yeah, there are people in hospitals, there are people dying, but what they're saying is COVID is really diabetes or heart disease or the flu. Some people are saying that there are people dying, and what they're saying in order to get the federal money is that say they died of COVID. Because somebody brought up a great question. It's good to feel strong about something, but don't let it control your life. I agree with you, Drone Worship. Don't let it control your life. Unfortunately, something like Cheryl was talking about, these things happen and people allow these things to become something that keeps them in fear. But to get back to the point, what I was talking about with Cheryl about that, sometimes even with you being out there in California, there are people who are going to believe that it's COVID and people are dying of COVID. And there's going to be people that believe that those folks in the hospital that are dying are not dying of COVID, that people want the money. The hospitals want the money because if you say they died of COVID, then you get federal funding from the federal government. So, hey, this is COVID, that's COVID, it's COVID-like symptoms, and you go from there. Did you realize that nobody had the flu last year? Well, people had the flu, but then you have to ask the question, Valerie, was it were catching the flu and it was rebranded as COVID, so it's like that. I mean, I say people had the flu, but again, nobody really put much emphasis on it, so like I said, there's a lot of things. I mean, but maybe that goes into the conspiracy theories, because again, I will say that is that you really didn't hear too much about the flu. There were two diseases that I heard about outside of COVID last year. I heard about heart disease and cancer. Yeah, yep, it's all about the money. Sit there, it could be. I mean, outside of COVID, I heard of heart disease and cancer, because it is hard to say that somebody caught a heart attack and they caught a heart attack because of COVID. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not making light of that. I have hypertension medication myself, and then when it comes to cancer, you're not going to say, okay, you had cancer, you died of COVID. That's going to be a slap in the face to the people out there that's fighting cancer and that whole particular thing. So that goes that way. But what I think is like what Melanie was talking about, there needs to be a civil discourse and a respectful debate if you're going to have a debate, if you're going to talk about it. I think if one of the things that happens, that we don't do is that we don't talk to each other civilly. We lack civility in how we deal with each other with our thought process, our decisions, our opinions. Sometimes it's like what Drone Worship was saying, we give too much energy to things that are just a waste of time. Because realistically, if folks out there don't believe the science, or you don't want to take the vaccine, or whatever the case may be, I still got to live my life. You still got to live your life. We still got to survive. This pandemic is still going on, because, I don't hear too many people talking about the financial fallout, that's going to come from this. While, like they said, they're getting the bribery money, as Lava Monster said, people got to remember, we got the financial implications that are gonna last for years to come. All this free money is gonna be inflation. And the cost of everything is going up. The cost of lemons, the cost of fruit, whatever, peroxide, whatever, gas, whatever you have, it goes up. But we're still clinging to our friends. Yes, we will still cling to our friends. Cling to your family as well. Be grateful for the folks that you do have in your life that made it through. And again, condolences to the people that have lost. I've lost. You've probably lost. Let me see what TT. Plus, people was fighting COVID, which slowed the flu too. My coworker had the flu and COVID and gave it 3 weeks off from the building. Yes. Okay, that's something that's true. That's true there. We've been turned against each other instead of looking at who's created so many issues. Our government is the media. I've got to go to bed. I have to go to work in the morning. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you, Valerie. Appreciate that. And I was thinking about you. It is the man who refused to die. You just came in at the hour mark. I was talking about some things that I would have loved to definitely have you on the live stream, Patch. We would have had a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot. And I thought about you. I was trying to do the StreamYards thing, but that didn't work out. But definitely take care, Valerie, and I appreciate you for coming by and giving some great pieces of wisdom and sharing your opinion on some things. You definitely made a lot of valid points. I encourage people to check out Valerie Reese. Very, very awesome woman. Very dope channel. Check it out when you get a chance. As for all the other channels that are here too, you got Cheryl. She does her thing. You got Sis Dad. You should have texted me, brother. Well, yeah, no. You know what happened? Like I said, it's late. I didn't want to bother you. It's a Sunday night, and also too, I couldn't get the StreamYards to work. Believe me, if I already got the StreamYards to work, I would have hit you up on Facebook. But you could see it was just a black screen, so it was trying to stop. But yeah, Patch, we were just talking about a whole bunch of stuff concerning coronavirus, whether it's real, whether it's fake news, should you wear a mask, should you take the vaccine, all that stuff. And it was some valid points brought up as far as, the government shouldn't be able to, they can't force you, and our amendment rights are being infringed upon. So there was a whole host of things, like I said, everybody had different points of view as it pertains to that. Some people were saying, don't worry about it, things that are a waste of time and things that aren't worth worrying about. And there was definitely different points of view about the science, whether it's airborne, whether it's not airborne. I'm not wearing a mask, nor am I taking the vaccine. Well, that's something that's definitely your right, and I do respect your decision not to do either one of those. Is problematic, I would say, in certain regards, because you don't know who has what. We don't want you to catch anything. But again, everybody has the right to make their own decision. And I would tell you to be safe with those decisions, because again, these decisions do affect other people. Y'all realize that the polio vaccine killed 75K people before they got it right. Yeah. Well, when it came to polio, it was definitely a different time. We didn't have social media. We didn't have a 24-hour news cycle. Things didn't spread as fast as they did, as they do now back then. So that's what it is. Thank you, Sis Dad. Appreciate you. Definitely. You have a lot of great comments in this conversation. I don't know. It's just one of those things, when it comes to coronavirus, when it comes to, this thing, it is the issue of our time, dude. If Cephas didn't kill me, this crab ain't gonna kill me either. Well, you are the man that refused to die. So it's hard to argue with the man who refuses to die, so that's a whole other conversation in itself. So we hope that, when it comes to Corona, you refuse to die as well, because at least you will live to tell about it and take names and all that other stuff. But what I gather the people, Patch, is that regardless of what side you stand on, the big thing I have for each other that we don't do enough is that we don't respect. It's a mutual respect. Something Sid Dad was talking about. The point is that this vax isn't fully tested. Same with the original flu vac as the every vax up until the 70s. Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying that's not even the case, but my problem when it comes to all is the vaccine, whether it's tested, fully tested, whether it's the 70s, whether it's 2020, 2021. The thing is, I say we should be able to civilly, like adults, like human beings, to respect each other's decisions. If you choose not to wear a mask and choose not to get the vaccine, I shouldn't vilify you for it, even if I disagree with you. Same with me. If I get the vaccination, which I did get the vaccination, which I do have to wear a mask because of my job and because of the people that I'm around to try to be safe, I shouldn't be vilified for it. You shouldn't be demonized because of the decisions that you make. I mean, of course, you get informed, but I think what we miss the point is that we are still human beings. We still live on the same planet with the same resources. Out of respect for others, I wear my mask. That doesn't mean that I believe all the hype. That's not the point. The vaccine, a whole other issue for me, not today. Well, that's your right. I don't vilify you for it. Exactly. I completely agree with you. We should all be civil. Yeah. Unfortunately, people don't get civil. This person is called stupid, and that person is into a fight, and then there's, viral videos, and, what is all this about? Then the emotions are high strung, because here's the thing. When we push the coronavirus, the vaccine, and all that aside, sorry, my respect stop wins and infringes upon my rights. Well, listen, I understand that. I tell people, if you want the vaccine, okay, but if you don't, want it, and yeah. But I think the thing is lost is, okay, if the issue is with the government and them infringing upon your rights, it shouldn't be with me as a person who may say, okay, I'm trying to follow and do, whatever guidelines. If I believe the science, maybe you think I'm an idiot, whatever. Okay, that's your opinion. I think the problem is when we make this thing a bigger issue and we get our emotions involved and we start attacking each other. Because, okay, if the government or certain medical, institutions or companies are implementing this stuff, they put it out there and we're fighting amongst each other. What do we solve? Most of us is nonsense back and forth. Yeah, a lot of it is nonsense back and forth, but a lot of it is nonsense back and forth amongst the people who don't have the majority control over it anyway. You're not running into AstraZeneca. Good night, take care. Appreciate you, Doc, for coming in. Folks are not running up in AstraZeneca and Pfizer or Moderna or none of these places, because you have limits and boundaries and things you can't. That's my point earlier. The government and the media has fueled the hatred towards each other. Some people would say that the government or the media, you can make those claims. I mean, I would still say have proof, but the thing is, the people should not be fighting amongst each other. If you have a difference of opinion, if you feel some type of way, if you got some other information, okay, that's fine. But is a sense of tribalism. I've been speaking about this for a long time. I think there's a sense of tribalism that exists in society where people are speaking in echo chambers to each other, and then you come out and you hear something different, and now all of a sudden I'm the villain. Now all of a sudden, instead of us all being Americans or Canadians or Europeans or whatever, now all of a sudden we hate each other. In order for to hate someone, I have to actually care about them other than less. Yeah. Well, whether you care about a person, or hate the person or whatnot, it should be a certain sense of civility, and I think it's lost in our society. I think people forgot how to talk to each other. That's the real problem. People forgot how to just disagree with each other and be on opposing sides, and not, I don't have to hate you. Agree, we shouldn't, but it's the game of telephone. I mean, you could say it's the government that created, but still, even if it's the government that created, let's say I go for that, it's still the people that perpetuate it. Because if you say it's the government, isn't the government we the people? So it still goes back to the people. The people are the ones that have the opportunity to change and think about the discourse about how they speak to people. Sometimes we forget, as people we have control. Thank you, sister, I appreciate it. We used to be we the people. It's still we the people. And I fight for civility, Patch, because it's still possible. But the problem with it is that people get caught up in their feelings about how they feel about an issue, and they allow their emotions and the ignorance and the banter and the echo chambers and the Facebook groups and the parlor groups and the little side chats and other sites that people don't know about, or they don't think people know about. Yeah, and then you come back and we attack each other. Gotta go, Bubba. Stay away from the COVIDs. Appreciate you, King. I didn't even know you were there, but I do appreciate you for coming through. I didn't expect to talk about this too long, but it was just having a back and forth discussion. I love everybody. Appreciate you. Thank you, Vels, for coming through. First time in my live. Well, this is the first time I'm live for this long for a while. I normally don't talk for an hour, but I'm just going back and forth. Now I completely believe this is able to disagree and debate in a civil function. But that's what we were always supposed to be able to do. That's what I'm talking about, Patch. I mean, listen, I enjoy talking to people who have opposite views of me. I learned something, just like I learned from you, Patch. Just like I learned from other folks. I got friends who are different religions, people who are atheists. I'm not the person that wants to speak in the echo chamber. I would not be the man that I am today if I just sat in a room and only listened to the people that, or only wanted to hear what I had to say, or only were going with what I agree with, but the majority never has been able to do that because they developed a mob mentality. And I agree with you on that, and unfortunately that leads to people not growing in development. We obviously need to talk to each other and get back to civility 1,000%. Yeah, but unfortunately, because of how segregated things are as far as media. If we want to talk about how segregated things are as far as media, you can go to any site, you can go to any particular place, and you can go and research your stuff and do and be all down the rabbit hole, and it could be only your opinion. I don't like talking to those who agree with me all the time, rather argue. Sometimes you have to argue. Sometimes you have to go to somebody who has a difference of opinion. I've learned more from people who disagree with me than people who agree with me, because if you agree with me the whole time, where's the point for growth? Where's the room to think? Like I said, media is not totally the problem. I would say the manipulation of the media by certain folks inside the media that know how to manipulate it is the problem, because the media is simply just a tool. Just like government is simply a tool. These are things that are manipulated by certain people. So you may get it wrong. You could say this monolith, the government, research is easy. Is it? Not everybody knows how to research is that. You go to some of these kids, they think they do a little Google search and all of a sudden that's the world. Remember the days, for those of us that are old enough to know, remember the days where, do I have that thing under there? Let me see if I got it. Well, I'll say it like this. Remember the days when you had to use a vocabulary builder or a dictionary or something like that. I don't even know if I got it. I don't know where my dictionary is at. It's somewhere around here. But anyway, research is not always the easiest because a lot of people don't know how to properly research. It's like an old timer told me, not all information is created equal, especially now as it pertains to today. You can have a 12-year-old post a Wikipedia page or a website, and it can look something like it's professional. Don't worry, sis, that we're all old. Remember the day when people had to actually go to the library to do stuff? So much to say about all of this, is so much more. Yeah, no, definitely, I have so much more to say as well. And it's kind of crazy because sometimes these kids don't know. They also know about where to go, the information with all the different outlets around. Not everybody knows. Not everybody knows. I remember when you had to do real research. A lot of people don't know about the Library of Congress. People don't know about the different museums, the Museum of Natural History. Folks don't understand about how to go find periodicals. I say periodicals, they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Forget reading a newspaper or finding old magazine clippings. And this is not to knock the youth. Love the youth, doing some great things. You're online. That's why I was saying not everyone knows. Definitely not everyone knows, especially when it comes to research. Even I have to remind myself sometimes when I'm on the phone, oh, wow, I have to go beyond Google. So real research. Yeah, people have to have real research. And for those of us of a certain age, especially, folks that grew up in the Walter Cronkite and Edward R. Murrow era, when and I'll get into that in a second, when you had to really be informed, and that's a little bit before my time, but some of you in the chat, I'm not to say your age, were in that era where you had to be informed, where you were informed, where you knew where to get information and verify your sources for yourself. Like most of these kids don't even know how to, find a verified source. They don't know how to quote source material. Sometimes, you can't just go by the New York Times or the Associated Press. So that's what it is. But and there's nothing wrong with being 65. I'm 40 myself, but there's nothing wrong with that. And then what happened with the media, if we want to talk about the media, since some of us are of a certain age, what happened with the media, and this has been documented, where the media went wrong, there used to be an hour of news on television, right? Nothing wrong with 50. Walter Cronkite, Edward R. Murrow, yeah, before my time, but I actually know who it is. But I bring up those people for a reason. There was a time when the news media came on and there were no advertisements. I agree with the AKA the man who refused to die. Well, no, Patch definitely does have a lot of great points. Cool guy. What I'll say is this: there used to be a time before advertisements when it comes to the media. There will be an hour of time. This was actually sanctioned by the government, the United States government, that there had to be an hour of news that was uninterrupted by any advertisement. No advertisement. But with the advent of cable news, with all the advertisements, then it started to become corporatized. It started to become news stories, sensationalism, and that actually took the media into a different place, to where we are today, to where you have stories. Like, people don't even realize when it comes to the media, you can have a medical story, and I saw this and I didn't even realize it. They could be selling you a drug, but they're presenting it with a doctor. They have it set up. They have it. They have it manufactured where this is a whole segment on the news where it's actually designed to sell you a product, and you can research this for yourself. There used to be a time when the news did not have any advertisement. There was an hour of news where it did not have any advertising. You can research that for yourself. the news started to get corrupted and the media started to get corrupt when you had the gossip rights and the advertisement and you being able to sell products. It is not as big as advertisement. Dr. Oz is a prime example. Yes, I agree. Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz was called out many times. Because remember, Dr. Oz is a brain surgeon. I have a friend on here. We had a conversation about that, where Dr. Oz is a brain surgeon. And like I said, my friend brought up a great point where, you have Dr. Oz. You say, well, why is he talking about nutrition and heart disease and all this other stuff? Why isn't he giving tips on, how to be a brain surgeon? He can get sued for that stuff because you can't just get up there and say anything that's going to sue you for that practice you actually practice. So what do? You're selling all this other stuff, these snake oils and all these other things, that may or may not work and been called out multiple times, and you're getting cut a check and you're getting you're getting kickbacks for all this stuff. Yeah. So yeah, he's a brain surgeon. But when you go on Dr. Oz and you look at Dr. Oz, Dr. Oz is not talking about brain surgery. There's not one episode that I heard where he's sitting there and he's giving you advice on, how to, do stuff, as it pertains to your brain that could actually get him sued. But they pay Dr. Oz the money to plug these other drugs. Yes. And that is a prime example, like Patch was saying, as it pertains to, how media is manipulated to the point where you're thinking he's giving you advice and this man is basically selling you products. But that's a prime example. You have a medical brain surgeon telling you about your nutrition. Exactly. What was I there? Yeah, like like a snake oil salesman. But that's how media was manipulated and contrived. Like even one thing too, a lot of people don't know. When a doctor prescribes you medicine, most people don't know. They get a kickback for that. So let's say, I had a doctor that was prescribing me, every prescription, they get a certain amount of money. This is nothing new. The advertisement is a little biased. I watched it started from JK and the history, the news is that, the typos. But like I said, it's a lot of things people are not informed of. And when you start telling them stuff like that and they see it and they hear it or whatever the case may be, sometimes you a kook or a conspiracy theorist or whatever the case may be. And all I'm saying is that for people to be informed, you don't have to take my word for it, especially anything that I'm saying. I tell you, do the homework for yourself, or like they used to say, reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton. Don't take my word for it. Verify it for yourself. Anything I say on this live stream, I challenge any one of you to verify for yourself. And if you don't agree with something that I said and you find anything different, hit me up. I'm not hard to find. See, yeah, he sold homeopathy. Okay, I said it right. Yeah, no, definitely, Patch. It's one of those things where I tell people be informed. Be informed. Sometimes, and I'm guilty of it at times too. Sometimes you'll see somebody who appears to be credible, or you don't want to do the research, or you get a little lazy, and people are talking about stuff, and you get a little long in the tooth, and you start saying, "Hey, well, you know what? I trust that person. I ain't got to do this or do that. I'll just take their word for it." Be informed and be well armed. Well, being armed is another thing. That's a whole other conversation that I have to have at another time. We're not going to go into the gun thing. Inform yourself. Yes, indeed. Yeah, nah. But too much of us are willing to just accept things for face value. Mr. Mach 1, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. Maybe I need to live stream a little bit longer. I never want to have anyone just take my word for stuff. Yes. And I tell anything. Don't just take anybody's word for stuff. And I understand it's tempting because you may get it from a source you trust. You may get it from a friend that you trust. It's one of those things where I tell people the information is out there. Go get it while you can, because once things disappear, it's hard to find. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of information still available. I'm very well armed. Yeah, I bet you are armed. Like I said, that's a whole other conversation, the Second Amendment rights and all that stuff. The man refused to die. Fred, how good you been? Oh, wow. Okay. They're giving you shout outs, Patch. They're giving you shout outs. A lot of people haven't seen you in a while. But like I said, again, I'm telling people, I'm not saying figure it out for yourself, but, be well informed and find things out for yourself. I'm a fan of SGU. What's SGU? Book burning. I've been seeing brother. Okay, you're talking to each other. You'd have to tell me what that is. Because like I said, SGU. I don't know SGU. Well, I'd love to hear what you know. It is a discussion, anything, even if we disagree. So important. Well, Cheryl, I have no problem disagreeing with people, as long as we can be civil, at the end of it, because that's what politics used to be. It used to be a point where you could disagree, and at the end of the day, you still have lunch and go. We shouldn't burn books. We're not in the Salem witch trials, anything like that, But again, I believe in seeing different opinions, and hearing different things, So it's kind of crazy, like I said, not to sound like a broken record, I just think that these things are lost because so many people may feel that, they stand on their opinions and they don't want anybody to talk them out of anything. Yeah, you say always with civility, but I guess the problem is that the other side of it, a lack of civility gets celebrated. People going after folks get celebrated. Social media campaigns and witch hunts and calling people conspiracy theorists and kooks and crazy and un-American or unpatriotic or not even human. There's different ways that people use to vilify folks, and sometimes people go along just to get along. Cancel culture, that happens too. Thank you, Mr. Mockman. I definitely always appreciate you for coming through. Definitely. Anybody check Mr. Watch One, Skeptic Guide to the Universe. I never read the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe, but it may be something that I have to check out just to see where you're coming from with that. But when it comes to different opinions, is definitely something. Well, they are wrong. Period. I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know if you were going back and forth, but I don't know. It's just where I'm at. It's just where I'm at with it. Like I said, forgive me. I'm just, I'm going off on a tangent. Hopefully, I'm not ranting too much. The podcast is a podcast. I didn't know it was this podcast. I thought it was a book. But yeah, there's a lot of people with podcasts and different stuff. People told me I should start a podcast, and I got to figure that out, that whole schedule and things like that. So that's a whole other conversation. I would like to do a podcast with a couple of people, but I don't know if those folks are available right now. But again, I digress from that situation. I'm surprised that a lot of y'all folks are still here with me on this live stream. Again, they're wrong. Those who fight, throw bombs, attack people, etc. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, Cheryl. Those people that throw, bombs and attack people and come after people, yeah, they're wrong. But folks have their audience, and when people have an audience, especially when you have large audiences, it's crazy. I would do a podcast with you. Well, like I said, Patch, that's something we got to set up. I mean, because I definitely think that would be something people would want to see us or hear. Actually, it would make sense to start off a podcast where you could do audio. Yeah, no, I think people will want to hear a podcast with the both of us. We could definitely bounce ideas off of each other. I think you have a dynamic personality, and I have a dynamic personality, and I think people would be entertained by that. I hear folks leaving NY. Yeah, people are leaving NY. Sid, but the thing with it is, people are also coming back. Some of these things are greatly exaggerated as far as that. The people that could afford to leave NY are, yeah, no, we are Patch. The people that could afford to leave NY and have those means to do so are doing that. I love to hear both of you do a podcast. Now that definitely would be. People are always leaving NY though. Yeah, definitely. So I wouldn't exaggerate that too much. Sometimes you have to fight. Yeah, yeah, sometimes you do have to fight. People are leaving California too. What's going on, Rita? Appreciate you for coming through. Thank you for hitting the like button. Woo, right back to you. I appreciate you. I don't know. I mean, as far as people leaving NY, people panic. It's like Cheryl was saying. For Forts leaving the call. Yeah, no, it's all good, Patch. It's all good. It's all good. The thing as far as people leaving NY, leaving California, people are in fear of different things, and they're gonna do what it is, that they choose to do. People are gonna look at the media. People are gonna be caught up in many different things. It's up to you to figure out what's gonna work best for you, and to try to make the best informed decisions for you, your family, and anything else. You stay here in Detroit. Hey, listen, there's nothing wrong with staying where you're at. If you could live a good life, a comfortable life where you are, then you do that. You make that happen. I don't knock anybody for doing that. It's really one of those things, man. It's really one of those things. Like, you have to figure out what's best for you. I say don't make the. I'm not looking forward to going back to Tennessee. Okay, well, hey, you don't have to go back to Tennessee. We're not gonna make you go back. I mean, unless somebody's telling me to bring you back. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, people are doing a whole bunch of things. People are coming and going, and people are going to Florida. I know where people are going. I don't hear too many people leaving Florida. Whatever's happening in Florida and Texas right now, Florida, three places I didn't hear people leave: Florida, Texas, and Atlanta. Atlanta is like they were Georgia or whatever. They've been open the whole time during the pandemic. Florida, they've been open the whole time during the pandemic. They've been doing what they're doing in Texas as well. So there's the Democrat versus the Republican states. I left Florida, too much humidity and too many hurricanes. Well, yeah, there's humidity and hurricanes, but you've been all over. But I'm talking about right now as far as this pandemic. Right now, they're turning up in Florida. They're probably having a party somewhere right now in Florida that I would like to be invited to. When you grow, sometimes it's hard. Lots of people running to Florida, true. You know, I mean, people are going to go where they're going to go. Like Cheryl was talking about, people are going to be in fear of certain things. Stuff is going to happen. You know, I say just try to think for yourself. Like I said, the humanity, the emotions, and all these stuff play a part, and people are going to do whatever they do. Crocodiles and snake, no thanks. Well, listen, as long as the crocodiles stay their distance, maybe I want to wear some crocodiles and snake shoes. You're too old to party anymore, Mel. Well, listen, I can party with the 35 and up crowd. I could get my grown and sexy on. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's a whole other story. Give me a glass of Corona with a lemon or a lime in it. When a Corona gets its limes, you get your wings. I don't know. Oh, every time a Corona is open, it gets its lime. I forget what the commercial said. I'm not here to advertise liquor anyway. But the whole point, the whole point is that the whole point is, hey, people got to figure out what it is that they're comfortable doing or what it is they should be doing. Sorry, Guinness only here. I like Guinness. I do like Guinness. Like I said, try to make the best decisions that you can make and be mindful that the decisions affect others. Do the crocodiles know how to stay away? I don't know if the crocodiles know how to stay away, Cheryl, but if I got a nice steak, or that's the one time where I may consider actually using a firearm to keep the crocodile back. I don't want to shoot the crocodile and then have to wind up with a pair of shoes. Any animal rights activists out there, I'm joking, whether it's a bad joke. I don't want to go out there and kill any crocodiles, but I do have to say I do have a pair of crocodiles in the room. But anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to go out there and harm animals, but the crocodiles were a gift. Well, we'll leave it at that. I got a Bounce Brother hit me up on the Facebook text if you want to work on a game plan for a podcast. Well, we got to figure out what we would do, but yeah, definitely we could do something on the audio. A machete. Machete is a little too sharp, a little too dangerous. I want to be humane about that. Thank you, Patch, but definitely we will work something out and discuss what it is that we're gonna do. Uh, how's everyone going tonight? I guess everybody's going all right. I'm just glad that I got people back and forth in the audience. Anything, hit that thumbs up. I appreciate you folks. Like I said again, I didn't even know I was gonna go this long. This is 87 minutes in. Um, I just appreciate all you for coming through and just sharing your love and your comments and everything, your criticisms. I didn't expect the conversation to get this deep, especially once you start talking about coronavirus. Plugging the log reader. Whoa, okay. Longer than usual. Oh, did you see my video of Bobby with Frost? Frost the last day at the cathedral. One of the co-workers he left. Shout outs to him. I appreciate you, sis. Dad, thank you for coming through. I don't know. It's just wild. Like I said, so much stuff going on with Corona, so much stuff happening with this. Regardless of where anybody stands, yeah, it could go deeper. Definitely, that's a joke. I had a joke in my mind. I'm gonna leave that alone. Jesus. Anyway, hopefully my mother don't watch this part. Yeah. Nah. But anyway, I had a joke in my mind. Keep it PG-13. Like I said, Oh, it's still Divine Mercy Sunday. I think it is. But anyway, like I was saying, oh, sorry, my mind went somewhere else. Too many jokes at work. Sorry, Cheryl. You triggered something in my mind. It was a joke that they usually tell at work, but we're gonna leave that alone. You know, keep it PG-13. Um, yeah, what was I gonna say? All I was gonna say is this: regardless of where people stand on coronavirus, regardless of where people stand with vaccines, or gun rights or any other issue, I want folks to stay safe out there because you got a lot of wild stuff going on in this world. You could turn on the news, whether you local, whether you international, wherever you're from. You could see what's happening out there in the world, and the world is becoming a lot more dangerous of a place to be. And I honestly do want folks to be safe because you don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, people are caught up on one issue, then it's another thing. If it's not 5G, it's Corona, it's politics, it's anything, it's everything. And, with that being said, I just tell people, keep your loved ones close and the people that you care about. Absolutely. Everybody, please stay safe out there. Yeah. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? Deep is your love. Deep is your love. I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, and they all should let us be. You belong. That's my joint right there. Nah. VG's. How deep is your love? Nah. Forgive me. I got some issues. Nah. You triggered. I don't know that struck a chord. Bee Gees. Thank you for singing the song. I know I did. Because we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down. One they all should let us be. No, I know. Forgive my singing. I know. Some people are running and running. Like I said, we are living in a world of fools. We are living in a world of fools. We got to be careful. We need the musical break. Yeah, nah. I try to be lighthearted. I try to make fun of myself, and that's also too on a lighter note. What I tell people is, even with all that's going on, even with all that's happening, with people that are lost, with people that are hurt, there are people that are getting sick, people that are going through things. Try not to take yourself too seriously. Try not to take life too stressful. Like this drone worship did jump in and say that. Try not to stress too much. And he made a great point. If he's still around, I don't know. He's in and out. It's all good. Love you. Appreciate you. Um, Try not to you know, find yourself in a situation where you're constantly in a news loop, 24-hour cycle, or you're constantly hearing negativity, or you're constantly listening to stuff. Because this year I had the detox from the news. I watch the news as I need to watch the news, but I don't put myself in a situation where I'm constantly in the loop, constantly hearing about Trump or Biden or Pelosi or Kamala or Mitch McConnell or what's going on in Russia or what's happening with Bibi Netanyahu over there in Israel, or what's going on in North Korea. Sometimes you got to step away from that stuff because you can get yourself overwhelmed. You can become consumed with negativity. Remember, don't forget to smile, don't forget to laugh, don't forget to smell the roses, don't forget to go out there and do what you can while you can, in a socially distanced, safe, responsible way, especially if that's your thing. Not your thing, I don't know what to tell you, but be careful. So true, me too. We rarely watch the news anymore too much. I'm not saying don't watch the news. I'm not saying don't watch the news, Cheryl. I'm not saying don't watch the news. I'm saying if you watch the news, watch it as you need to know. Find out about traffic reports, weather reports. Find out if there's a shooting or raping or mugging. Find out what's happening in your area. I'm not saying don't be informed, but sometimes with this 24-hour news loop, what I have to learn too is don't sit there all day watching the news. Don't sit there all day just consumed with anything. Like you said, too much of anything can hurt you. Too much of anything is bad for you, can kill you. So you have to wean yourself. Everything in moderation, as is written in the good book. Everything with temperance. Temperance is needed. You have to temper yourself to these things. You have to insulate yourself sometimes. If you feel like things are overwhelming in the world, sometimes you have to insulate yourself and back off from those negativities or those proclivities or those things that's going to cause you to get yourself all worked up in a tizzy. And, like I said, it's just real like that. You just gotta do things in moderation. It's just like when you have alcohol, too much of that is gonna kill you. If you have too much food, your stomach will burst. If you smoke too much, you could OD off something. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not judging anybody. I know marijuana is legal now, so at least in New York. But the point I'm making is everything in moderation. You shouldn't drink poison, but that's a whole other story. Yeah, don't drink poison. Like I was saying, try not to take life too serious. Try to take it just serious enough to understand what's going on and be informed and be aware around you. But don't be so bogged down that you're depressing yourself. Because sometimes you can see things out in the world, go online on your phone, wherever you may go, and you're just constantly bombarded with negativity. And that's not what I want. Especially, hopefully, with the conversation, I didn't work anybody up because, like I said, it's a conversation just among friends. I'm not giving out any medical advice, financial, political, or otherwise. Hopefully, I'm not. Like I said, I don't want to get sued. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And like I said, I'm just glad that all you folks is there because I know people are coming in and out, and they probably trying to figure out what the hell is Mel talking about tonight. I'm just talking about it this time because I got some other things that I'm doing off camera, but it's all good. So easy to get depressed. Yeah, so true. Yeah, no, it is easy to get depressed. It's easy to work yourself up. It is easy to put yourself in a ways. I remember how my mother said it, and it's a piece of wisdom she was saying. She said, you got to be careful. If you look too far back in the past about what you could have done or you should have did, you'll depress yourself. If you look too far to the future, you'll catch anxiety because you're worrying about what has yet to happen. And a lot of people forget that, like that. You just live in the moment. You be present. Be present in the moment. Take it minute by minute, day by day. It's like they say in Narcotics Anonymous, or used to say, one day at a time. How am I doing about your family? Oh, my family's okay. They're crazy, but they still living. If any of them was watching, I love you. Just ignore the last thing I said. But like I was saying, they're alive. They're doing it. Hopefully your family as well. I ask you and anybody else that's here, how you doing? My mother, if you're watching, I love you. Don't worry about anything I said. Everything I said is all beautiful, all good. Um, yeah, but I'm learning just to be in the moment, because you can't do anything about what's going to happen too far in the future. I can't worry about tomorrow until it comes. When tomorrow comes, it will come and it will do what tomorrow will do. You know, I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. Keep staying healthy. And when it comes to the past, the past is the past. I can't go back and rewrite the past. I can't rewrite history. Some people try to rewrite it anyway, but you can't actually change what has happened in the past. You can try to influence the future, but you can only do it in the moment. It's like Current Circuit God said, life is best live forward. Life is best understood backwards, but live forward. You can understand it looking back, but it's best live forward in the moment. It's true. We only have today. I can't forget that myself. Yeah, and sometimes people forget that because they start thinking about what am I going to do next week and the month after and 2 or 3 or 5 years down the road. Sometimes you just got to say, look, this moment is all I have. This is where I'm at. Like right now, I'm here with you on this live stream. This is the moment I'm in. This is what's going to happen. I can't even worry about the next moment for what's going to happen when I get off this live stream. Whatever's going to happen when I get off this live stream is going to happen when I get off this live stream. It may be the greatest thing that ever happened. It may be the worst thing that ever happened. But it's like old Timer told me, you pray for the strength to deal with it all. So I pray for the strength to deal with it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, the in between, because you never know. You don't know, and you're not supposed to know. And I'll tell anybody out there, it's okay not to have the answers. It's okay not to know. It's okay not to be sure. But still keep striving, keep pushing to get the answers, to get the truth, to find that, especially after the year we've had. We've had to take things one day at a time. Yeah, you had to take things one day at a time. I was talking to a woman today, and she was saying she didn't even look at the calendar anymore. You just go through the days, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, whatever it is, and you just keep going. Good job, young blood. I will talk to you about that young blood comment. I'm not gonna let that one go, but I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you have that one because we had a live stream. But I got you. I got you. I got you, young blood. I got you, young blood for you. So like I said, I just try to be in the moment, man. Because We don't know. And like I said, for those of us that lost people, for those of us that struggling, and that's the one thing I want to take the one thing to acknowledge at this time, that with this pandemic, we're all going through it. We're all facing things. It reminds me of something on Downton Abbey. I'm going all over the place. It was a line that one of the characters said. She was in a bad relationship, and she was hurt by the person she was dealing with. And she said, "I'm not worse, for what happened to me. I'm just changed. I'm different." And we don't all have to be worse off for what we've been through, but the reality is that we've all been changed in various ways by what's happened with the pandemic. I think of people. There's a family from New Jersey, I remember, and I think me and a friend was talking about it, how the whole family almost died. There was like four relatives that died. I think it was like a mother, a daughter, a brother, somebody had died, and it was like two family members left. Imagine you living in the house and you got 6 or 7 family members, and it's you and one other family member survives, and it's because of corona or something that you don't understand. Yeah, it was on CNN. So it's crazy. So I tell people, man, and this is something, regardless whether you're rich or poor, it's not about that. Coronavirus is not worrying about whether you're gay or straight or black or white or Catholic or Muslim or Jewish. What's happening right now is affecting us all. I mean, and I run a parallel to 1918, with the Spanish flu. I mean, I think we're gonna have a roaring 20s or something like that, or roaring 30s afterward, once they start letting people get outside without restrictions. And that's what people got to be careful, because you're going to go out there, you're going to spend your money, you're going to get crazy, you're going to do all this other crazy stuff. And you got to be careful with that, because there's going to be a lot of people that do a lot of crazy stuff. And then, maybe the stock market is something to crash. Look out for cryptocurrency and NFTs, non fungible tokens. If you're an artist of any type, I would say that you should get into non fungible tokens or blockchain technology. Definitely check that out. Those are things that's the future. I guess to quote Drake, I don't carry cash because the money is digital. So there's a lot going on that people need to pay attention to, the different technologies that's going on. I sent a story to somebody the other day that Elon Musk, he put a brain chip inside of a monkey and had it playing a video game. So, they're working on all kind of stuff happening, and then also too, not to get too depressing, you got the ozone layer, like I said, and the environment and all that stuff, food shortages and synthetic food and all kind of crazy stuff that's going on right now. So I just try to tell people, if anything, to be aware, because like Cheryl said, this conversation could go deep. I mean, if we start getting into some of the stuff that I just got in my notes research, I could talk to you another 4 or 5 hours. I won't, but the whole thing is that there's so much going on, and you just try to catch up with what you can, and don't overwhelm yourself with everything that's going on, because you can't really do it all, see it all, be it all. You just do what you can for your space, for your family, for your area, for your community, for your city, for your state. In some cases for your country. You just be who you can for the area and the time, place, and space that you are. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I don't want to get too long-winded. I already spoke more longer than I really wanted to. And I appreciate the 7 people, the 9 people that give me the thumbs up. I don't know what you're gonna do with this live stream, but now streaming on YouTube, it's yours truly, Melma X365. I think a lot of people have been woke there, perhaps before we just taking things at a day by day peaceably. Yes, everybody, unfortunately, everybody is not taking things as peaceable as we would like them to. We do have the protests, the Black Lives Matter, the Asian hate. Then a lot of people leave out the indigenous peoples. And I guess if I had to say anything else before I go, I totally dislike how we disregard indigenous people in this society, in this country, in this world. It can't be said enough how indigenous people need to be, acknowledged and looked at. I mean, there are whole swaths of land, especially with Oklahoma, with things going on where we just kind of disregard. I mean, Congress last year had to award certain lands to different tribes out in Oklahoma because there was some funny business, with territory that belonged to these indigenous people. But again, that goes into a whole other conversation people may not want to have, about the country and the government. Some people, what's the old saying? It goes, it says a government founded by crooks and run by thieves. But again, I digress from that. I don't hate America. I'm not a flag smasher. I'm not unpatriotic. I love the country, but we all have our issues. It's not perfect when it comes to race, politics, gender, religion, religious freedom, religious right, abortion, women's reproductive rights. Like I said, I could go deep, but again, yeah, where's this live stream going? This is just conversation that went further than I would like it to go. I mean, further than I thought it would go. And on that note, since it is the next day, it is 12. I appreciate you folks for listening to me, hearing me talk about stuff, giving questions, having comments, listening to me, thinking I'm crazy, hearing my singing. Maybe there'll be a podcast between me and the man that refused to die. Maybe there won't. Stay tuned for that. Let me know how you feel that I still love this country too with all its flaws. Still love America. Yeah, there you go. This is our country. This land is your land. This land is my land. Again, shout out to the replay gang. Shout out to anybody that makes it to this point. If you make it to this point in the replay, hit me up in the comment section and I will give you all a shout out. All a shout out. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate you and anybody else for the comments. We share this if you feel anything is value of it, and that's what it is. It's made for you and me. That's funny. I like that the fact that you finished that. Yeah. But like I said, shout out to the replay gang. Anybody that makes it to this point in the live stream that actually watches this, but I'm back. Well, Melanie, me and you got to have a conversation about race. And there was so much in this live stream. To anybody that watches this back, you're going to get something. You're definitely going to get something. And thank you. Love you all. Hopefully you and your families are safe. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Regardless whether we agree or disagree, I do want you to be safe out there. Whether you visit my channel a lot or you don't, whether you agree with what I'm saying or you don't, I do want you to be safe. I do want you to be healthy. I do want you to prosper and make it into the next day. And on that note, I guess spread love is the Brooklyn way.